If we look now at the first clinical trial or first in-human study, this was carried out by myself as a co-principal investigator with Dr. Yuri Stalk, wonderful surgeon and orthopedic surgeon and colleague in Slovenia. So the study was split between his center and the centers where I work here in Vigo, Spain. We've now completed the 1-year follow-up on these patients. I'll show you what we did at follow-up. We will be completing 2-year follow-up. I literally just saw the 2 last patients here. They got delayed with their 1-year follow-up because of the COVID-19, but I was able to get them back in the office last week and complete the 1-year follow-up. So 1 year from now, we'll have the 2-year follow-up. At any rate, 25 subjects operated between Slovenia and Spain. Our secondary endpoints were the subject-related type patient communication factors such as the foot and ankle ability measures and how they were doing activities of daily living. And the primary endpoints were things that are important to every company and every surgeon and every patient, of course. Number 1, is this product safe for me? And number 2, is the product allowing the result of the surgery that I expect, in this case, a PIP joint fusion. So if we look at those primary endpoints, we had 92% radiographic fusion. I tell you that the 1 or 2 patients where we did not see radiographic fusion, patients were clinically fused and completely fine, doing well clinically, but on x-ray, we termed it not to be a complete fusion. There was no adverse effects or any sort of device effect. The secondary endpoint results I will show you in graph form. It just shows that it's more illustrative. And so here you see the foot and ankle ability measures and the activity of daily living scores and the visual analog scores for pain. And so if you look here, the 3 graphs are all combined, so do just pause and take a look at it. The dotted line is the visual analog scale. So you can see that all patients on the average between the 2 centers started off at around, on the right-hand column there, you see the pain score. So they all started off between 5 or 6 pain on the visual analog scale down to between 0 to 1 at a year after surgery. So 1-year follow-up is completed, all right, officially completed. And then if we look at their quality of life type measures, activities of daily living, their own ranking of their percent functionality, so to speak, you can see where they all started. On the left there, between roughly the high 60s to mid 70s, and at the 1-year follow-up, again, fully completed with all 25 patients. They're up over 95% functionality in their own words. Okay, that's their own estimation. And of course, using the data sets, also by calculation of their responses to the questions on the foot and ankle ability measure and activities of daily living questionnaires. If we look at the imaging from time 0 of a patient operated to 1 year out, it's just wonderful to see these. Now I always kind of joke, we're not cracking chests here, right? This is hammertoe surgery, but you can tell from my initial slides, at least where I believe we're going and where Ossio believes we're going. And then, of course, as the world works, there's regulatory hurdles and pipelines to roll out and so forth. And that's what we're showing and sharing with you today. But let's start where everything has started, to demonstrate the ability of these implants to do exactly what we want them to do, and to be safe, and to be user-friendly, and be able to easily insert it and so forth. So typical PIP joint fusion of the second toe, 2 weeks after, 6 weeks after, 12 weeks after, on to a year. Excellent bone healing. Here we go. Okay, PIP joint fusion. Highlighted there. You can still see the shadow of the implant, for example, but this is an excellent, solid 1-year follow-up for our first second toe proximal interphalangeal joint. If we look at CT scans, it was wonderful. With the study, we were able to do CT scans at 12 weeks after surgery as well as 26 weeks after surgery. And we can see here wonderful fusion and consolidation around the PIP joint on CT scans. And then at the 1-year follow-up, we did MRIs. And I just love this MRI here, where you can actually see, of course, you still see the implant, because we know the implants from the animal is just not going to go away completely. It's not going to be osseo-integrated completely until the 104-week mark, so to speak, so 2 years. But you can see excellent bone cortical formation on the periphery of the PIP joint fusion. So that's 1 year MRI and CT scans.